Hi, my name is MK Williams and I'm a published author, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that I actually find pretty exciting because it's part of my day job, which is marketing and branding. So today I'm going to talk to you about how you can build your brand as an author. So just like every major brand that you see on TV commercials and ads, on billboards, on radio commercials, they all have a brand identity. So when you're positioning your books or positioning yourself as an author for public speaking opportunities or podcast appearances, you want to be very clear as to what your brand is. Who are you speaking to? Who are your books for? Things of that nature. So here are some questions that you should be able to answer as you're starting to work towards building your brand as an author. So the first is, what's your identity as an author? Are you a stoic author who just slaves away all day just typing, getting all the words out? You don't have any time for distractions like marketing or social media or anything like that. You're just that brooding, introverted author. Or are you the very social author who's constantly engaging with readers by doing comments on live videos? Are you the one who's out there and just wants everybody to be able to connect with them right away? Are you a whimsical writer who's maybe living in the world that you've created in your books in the real world? Or are you the author who wrote a 20-book series in 1 year maybe? Are you the author who feels like they're the next Margaret Atwood? Who are you? How would you answer that question? And the next one is, what's your story? You give your characters a story, but what's your story? Have you always wanted to be a writer? Have you come to that reluctantly? Have you been secretly working on a book for 2 decades and now you're just starting to put it out there to people that you want to write because you've been maybe too afraid to until now? How did you get to this spot in your timeline as an author and as a writer? And what's that story? You tell other stories. What's your story? So whatever you define your identity as far as who you are and your story, you need to stick with that. You want to make sure your audience always knows what they're going to get from you. So that way, as you're pitching things and putting yourself out there, it's very clear who your audience should be based on who you are and what your brand is. Now for some people, you may think, well, I really want to explore many different genres that don't really go together. That's when you would develop a pen name, but that's more than just a second name. It is truly a second brand. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you are considering kind of bending through multiple genres that don't match well together. For example, if you were going to write children's books with one name and you wanted to write erotica, you should probably have a separate pen name for those two. It's very different brands, very different audiences and messages. And so another thing to really keep clear is that it's important to know your brand. It's not just about marketing and selling your books. It's about what's going to help you as a writer determine what is important and what isn't important. So maybe you have a bad week of sales and you're just really down on yourself and you think, you know what, forget this. I'm just going to churn out a bunch of books and just make a bunch on KDP Select, and that's just what I'm going to do. But if that wasn't part of the brand that you defined for yourself, well, then you're going to actually do more harm than good, because getting that quick money may be good in the short term, but in the long term it's going to erode your brand and your identity, and you wouldn't want to do that. So hopefully you've been starting to think through some of these things as I've been talking. Feel free to comment below with some of the brand identifiers that you've been using or ways that you've been leveraging your own brand. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and now you can go back to writing your book.